Have you ever felt like the ground disappeared and all that was left was emptiness? As if suddenly life had shattered you into pieces so small that not even you could understand where everything began to fall apart. Maybe you're trying to keep going, strong, firm, whole, but deep down all you feel is pain, a pain no one sees. A silent pain, hidden behind a tired smile and automatic answers. I'm fine, but you're not. And this is where the truth begins, the one almost no one tells you. The pain that breaks you is the same one that can build you. It didn't come to destroy you, it came to reveal who you can become. After all this, yes, I know. It's hard to believe that when everything inside you screams the opposite. But what if this pain is exactly what you need to become, who you were born to be? Today, we're going to walk together. Not to run from pain, but to face it with courage. And to discover step by step how to turn this suffering into inner strength. You won't leave this video the same, because from now on, your pain will have a new purpose. So take a deep breath and come with me. Oh, and if this message already touched your heart in these first few seconds, leave your like and subscribe to the channel Inner Light, Infinite Wisdom. It may seem small, but it helps bring light to those still in the dark. Shall we continue? Pain has its own language. It doesn't speak in words. It speaks in silence, in nights that last too long, in days when getting out of bed feels like a miracle. It doesn't explain. It exposes. It exposes everything that was hidden but was always there. Pain reveals the truth. It shows fragile bonds, empty desires, choices we made trying to please the world while forgetting ourselves. It reveals who stays, who walks away, and who, even staying, can't truly reach us. It forces us to look within. And there's no way to look away anymore. Many times when everything is comfortable, we get distracted. But when pain arrives, it's like a divine whisper saying, "Come back. Pay attention. You're drifting away from what truly matters." Yes, pain is uncomfortable, but it's within that discomfort that many souls awaken. It's in the unrest that many find themselves again. Maybe you're going through something you don't understand. A breakup, a loss, a betrayal, a spiritual collapse. And you keep asking why. But what if the right question isn't, why did this happen? But rather, what is this trying to teach me? Every pain carries an invitation, a calling to grow, to mature, to change course. Sometimes things need to break so that the old structure can give way to the new. And no, that doesn't make the pain any less real, but it changes its weight. When pain gains a purpose, it begins to transform. Maybe God didn't cause your pain, but He can use every tear to shape your essence, just like the potter works with his hands on the clay, even when it's cracked. God also doesn't give up on you when you're in pieces. The question is, are you willing to learn from what hurts? Because when the soul starts listening to the message behind the pain, something begins to shift within. And that's where true transformation begins. And when that process starts, it's natural to wonder, am I being destroyed or am I being shaped? That's exactly what we'll talk now. When something breaks inside us, the first feeling is loss, of losing control, of helplessness, as if the pain came with the intention of erasing everything we've been until now. But Lee, what if that's not the case? What if what you're calling destruction is actually a process of shaping? What if what you're going through isn't the end, but the beginning of a new version of you? What looks like demolition is sometimes just God rebuilding the foundations. You see, pain doesn't come to punish us. It comes to cleanse us, to remove the excess, to tear away what's covering our essence. How many times have we clung to relationships that pulled us away from who we truly are? How many times have we hidden in empty routines, trying to look fine, trying to please, trying to be strong? while the soul was crying out for help. Pain arrives as an interruption, and this interruption, as cruel as it may seem, might be exactly what saves you from a path with no return. Joseph was sold into slavery by his own brothers, wronged, forgotten, betrayed. But every painful step led him to his purpose. Egypt wasn't Joseph's end, it was the cradle of his mission. God didn't take Joseph out of the process. He shaped Joseph within the process. And that's how it is with us too. Pain has the power to reveal strength you never knew you had. It dismantles the ego and reveals the spirit. It removes the masks and shows the true face. You're not being destroyed. You're being shaped. And you know what's most beautiful about this? Even when you're broken, God still sees you as whole. He's not scared of your shattered pieces. He already sees what you'll become after all this passes. So even without understanding, keep trusting. Even through tears, keep walking. The question isn't whether you'll come out of this pain. The question is, how will you come out of it? And if the shaping process requires silence, then maybe what you're facing now is just that. And we'll talk about the moment that scares us the most, God's silence. There are moments when what hurts the most isn't the pain itself, it's the silence. It's looking up at the sky, praying with all your soul, and hearing nothing. It's hard to understand that silence. We wonder if we've been forgotten, abandoned, ignored, and the heart cries out, "Where is God?" when everything seems to fall apart. But maybe God's silence isn't absence. Maybe it's a presence so deep that it can't be put into words. Remember Jesus in Gethsemane, the Son of God, sweating drops of blood in agony, pleading, "Father, if it is possible, take this cup from me." And what was the answer? Silence. But it wasn't a cruel silence. It was the silence that came before glory, because even in silence, the Father was there. Sometimes God stays silent because He's teaching something that can only be learned in the void. He doesn't shout because He wants you to hear your own soul. He doesn't appear because He wants you to discover the strength He already placed inside you. And more than that, silence is a sign of trust. When God doesn't respond, it's because He knows you can walk through that valley. He knows that within you is something stronger than you think. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared. And preparation requires silence, because it's in silence that roots grow. It's in silence that faith deepens. It's in silence that the soul strengthens. So if you're living through this silence now, don't give up. Keep praying, keep believing, keep walking, because even when God is silent, He is working. And sometimes it's in silence that He redirects you back to what truly matters. And that's what we're going to talk about now, when pain leads us back to what is essential. Pain has a strange way of reorganizing our priorities. It walks in without knocking and knocks down everything we thought was essential. Status, achievements, appearance, control, all of it loses its shine when the soul cries out for meaning. And suddenly, what once seemed important no longer matters. The urgencies shift, the heart changes, you change. Sometimes pain comes for exactly that, to bring us back to what truly matters, to our essence, to what is eternal, to what can't be bought, replaced, or imitated. You begin to value silence, a sincere hug, a prayer said through tears, a coffee shared with someone who doesn't want to fix you. Just listen. You return to what is simple, to what is true. That's what pain does. It brings us back to the essential. It was like that with Paul. After so many achievements, miracles, and journeys, he confessed, "There was given me a thorn in my flesh," something that deeply troubled him, and he asked God to take it away 3 times. But the answer was different. "My grace is sufficient for you." Paul wasn't healed of that thorn, but he was healed of the illusion that he needed something more than grace. And maybe that's what your pain is trying to show you. that you already have what you need, that peace isn't found in the absence of pain, but in the presence of what is true. It's in this rediscovery that the soul finds alignment, and in that alignment, healing begins. But to continue on this path, you'll need spiritual tools, practices that will help you walk through pain with faith and purpose, tools that don't erase suffering, but transform it into inner power. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. When pain hits hard, the mind becomes disorganized, the heart shuts down, and the soul feels in ruins. It's in those moments that we need more than beautiful words. We need tools. Real spiritual practices that can hold the soul when strength runs out. The first one is simple, but powerful. Pray with truth. It doesn't have to be a perfect prayer, full of verses and rehearsed phrases. It needs to be honest, screamed if necessary, whispered through tears, silent when there are no words, because God doesn't respond to performance, he responds to truth. David, the man after God's own heart, prayed while crying. He vented, he complained, he pleaded, and he was heard. Because prayer is the place where the soul removes the mask and becomes whole. Another tool is what I call a spiritual journal. Write. Put all your pain on paper, not to publish, not to impress, but to understand. Often when we write, God reveals things that were hidden within us. You don't write for the world, you write for your soul. Meditation with God can also be a powerful key. It doesn't have to be a complicated technique. Just sit, breathe, and say, Lord, I'm here. Speak to me. And then listen. Listen to his voice in the silence. Listen to your own breath. Listen to what your heart has been holding. And on the days when none of that seems to work, declare the word. Even if you don't feel it, even if you have no strength, declare, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34:18. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. Romans 8:38-39. Do not fear, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. The word is a sword, it's an anchor, it's nourishment. And remember something essential, don't carry the pain alone. Loneliness can be poison when you're vulnerable. Find someone to share the weight with. A true friend, a mentor, a spiritual counselor, a therapist. You don't have to go through this in silence. Finally, practice gratitude. Yes, even in pain, be thankful for what remains, for what is being born, for what you don't yet understand but know will be revealed at the right time. These practices won't make the pain disappear, but they will transform it. It stops being a blind burden and becomes a doorway. And when you walk through that doorway with faith, something changes inside you. You don't come out the same. You come out more whole, wiser, more connected to what is eternal. And that's where a new mission is born, to use the pain that transformed you to help transform other lives. And that's exactly what we'll talk about now. There's a moment when everything changes. When pain stops being just suffering and becomes wisdom. It's when you look back at the tearful days, the dark valleys, the silence of God, and realize that something in you was shaped right there. That pain taught you what calmness never could have revealed. You become more empathetic, more grounded, less impulsive, more human, and without even realizing it, you begin to become a refuge for others. Because those who have walked through the valley can recognize that same pain in someone else's eyes, and they don't judge. They don't point fingers, they embrace. That's when pain becomes mission. When you understand that what nearly destroyed you now equips you to lift others up. Look at your story. See everything you've already overcome, everything you've endured in silence, everything you learned through pain. Within you already lies a reservoir of wisdom that can heal other hearts. And God wastes nothing. Not a single tear, not a sigh, not one sleepless night. Every scar you carry may be the answer to someone else's prayer. It was like that with Peter. He denied Jesus, wept bitterly. But it was that broken man who stood up to preach on the day of Pentecost, because those who have fallen know how to help those who are falling. You don't have to be perfect to be used. You just have to be available and willing to turn your pain into light. So if you feel this message is for you, then it's time to finally surrender that pain, not as a weight you carry, but as a seed you plant. And the next step begins with a prayer. Now, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to feel God's presence right where you are. This isn't a rehearsed prayer, it's a sincere cry. If you'd like, repeat with me, out loud or only in your heart. Lord, I don't understand this pain, but I give it to you. I surrender everything that weighs on me. I surrender what I lost, what hurt me, what paralyzed me. Use this pain, Father. Shape my heart. Teach me to trust even when I don't understand. Transform what hurts me today into something that can heal others. May my story not be defined by what broke me, but by who I became after it all. I choose to believe that you are with me, even in silence. Restore what must be restored. Break what must be broken, but don't let me come out of this pain empty. Fill me, Father, transform me. Let something new be born within me. Amen. Now, take another breath. Because starting today, this pain is no longer the end of your story. It's the beginning of your mission. The pain that broke you wasn't the end. It was the beginning. You went through silent nights. You felt lost, without direction, without solid ground. But today, something has begun to shift. Because now you know, pain didn't come to destroy you. It came to reveal you. To reveal a strength you didn't know you had. To awaken a faith that had been sleeping, to uncover your essence behind the masks the world demanded you to wear. What looked like defeat, God can turn into destiny. What looked like chaos, He uses as a path. And what hurt you the most can become what equips you the most. So if this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video now, it helps this message reach more people. Subscribe to the channel Inner Light, Infinite Wisdom, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with someone who also needs to turn pain into purpose. In the comments below, write, "My pain will not be in vain." Let's build together a space of healing, faith, and transformation. Here on Inner Light, Infinite Wisdom, you will always find words that lift, heal, and connect you to the divine. See you in the next video. Until then, keep your vibration high and your mind connected to the divine.